Good morning, good morning. Let's just throw some light on this. There we go. A question for you this morning is, how do you feel about your job right now? What sort of emotions does it conjure up inside of you when you think about the job that you currently do? Are you excited by it? Or does it really fill you with a certain amount of dread and loathing? Um, And why do people, good morning, Angela, and why do people leave their jobs in the first place? And that's the two questions are related, believe me. The final part of this is, if you don't have a job, what are you actually going to be looking for from your next job? And again, it's exactly related to the first two questions. And do you even know what you're looking for? Which is actually a slight sidestep from the first three questions, but but I always ask that one when I talk to people about what their motivation is for the job that they want to do next. So anyway, this is James Foster and Careers Matter. A while ago I wrote a blog, and I'm going to revisit this blog shortly and reissue it. But it's on 5 reasons that people leave their jobs. And this is all to do with the mindset and motivation of people in work and what they're actually looking for. The order, I'm just going to list the items that I've got down here, which is to start with. So the first thing is relationships. The relationships that we have at work, whether that is with our peers, whether it's with the team that we're working with, or whether it's with our boss. And the most important of those, the biggest factor of those, is the one that we have with our boss. That's the first reason that people leave their job. If those relationships aren't right, if we don't get on with people, if we don't like the people that we're working with, then work is a terrible place to be, and people leave. The second one is that it is all about challenge, all about what we're getting out of it on a day-to-day basis. And if there isn't a challenge in your job, if you don't have something that's driving you in the job, you don't get anything out of it. There has got to be an intellectual challenge. There has to be, I'll call it a physical challenge for want of a better description at the moment. But you need to have something that you want to get through across the line. You need to have something that has to be overcome, that has to be managed, built, developed, and progressed, so that when you can see something that's been accomplished along the way. And that really does drive people and motivate them. When they can see that they can accomplish something at work, then their mindset is really much in a much more better place, shall we say, for that particular job. The sort of next item that I have here is then advancement. So nobody wants to stay in the same job forever. Well, that's probably that's not necessarily altogether true. I have met a few people who have actually, they're actually very content doing what they do. But mostly, I think there's, most people's mindset is built around a certain amount of ambition. And I think people want to see that their job is going to progress somewhere. And that's not necessarily a step up to the next level. That might mean taking on more of what you're doing and building, building the level and intensity of what it is that you do, taking on more responsibility within the role you're in. You want to see that there is a progression, that you're going to grow, because nobody wants to really, well, most people don't want to stay stagnant at a certain level. If you don't see that advancement, if you don't see that you're going to get somewhere in the job that you're in, you leave. It's simple, because you want that advancement, so you look for that advancement outside. Then peer group and environment. Now, I mentioned relationships at the start, and this is an extension of that to a certain extent. But peer group and the environment. So this is all to do really with with how you feel about the job that you're in terms of the culture of the place, in terms of how comfortable you are in the job. So this isn't just that you may get on with the people quite well. Those relationships might be okay, but the company may have a culture which you just don't like. It may have one of those I don't know how to describe this best, but it may have one of those cultures where they're always demanding more and more and more and more from you, and giving less and less and less and less. Do you know? We're going to go on to money in the next one, but one of the biggest complaints I get from salespeople. And this is about earning potential to some extent, but it's really about the culture of the organisation, where expectations are set as far as their earning capacity is concerned for commission and what have you, but the goalposts keep changing, and the goalposts keep changing because the company wants to put more pressure on the salespeople to deliver, and it actually has the opposite effect, the opposite impact. People just get fed up with the whole thing if they don't see that they can actually achieve what it is that they want to achieve, because the goalposts are moving. They back off from achieving anything. But it's that culture of keep moving the goalposts, increasing the pressure all the time, banging on more workload to you. This happened a lot after the financial crash, and it happens a lot after virtually every financial crash. It is going to be happening a lot in business today, because companies are under financial pressure. They want to do much more with far less. And all they're looking at is their costs. And of course, the pressure that they put on their people is simply this: you've got a job, haven't you? Stop griping, which is not really a pleasant atmosphere. And of course, what that does is gets everybody's back up. And as soon as the job market starts taking off, people will leave. It happens every single time, and I don't know how companies feel they can get away with it. The best way of keeping your people, the best way of motivating your people, is to keep them happy, is to make them feel valued, is to let them feel that they are contributing, and that what they're contributing is valued, and they will do more anyway. It's more productive to do it that way. It just simply is. And the final thing is money. We all go to work for money. I put it fifth on the list, and there are far more reasons than I've listed here, but I put it fifth on my list, and this is the order that it tends to come out when we've talked to people, when we've done surveys. The fifth reason that people go to work, the fifth reason why people leave their job is money. It's very seldom the main reason to do a job. It's very often the reason why they won't do a job, and that's how I tend to characterize the impact of money. And we have to feel valued. We have to feel valued for who we are and what we're contributing. And if we don't see a fair recompense for that, it's this indignation. Well, I'm contributing all this to your business. What am I getting back in return? Why are you being so miserly over what you pay us? Why are we not getting the money that we feel that we deserve for the job that we're doing? And if that's the attitude that you get, or you feel, I should say, within the job, then that's the reason why people leave. It's also, and I try telling companies this when I'm recruiting for them, and they don't listen. Their counter argument is actually quite powerful, but it's this: if you're trying to headhunt somebody into a job, if you want to bring somebody in from a job that they're already doing, you can't pay them the same amount of money that they're in now. They have to feel that they have gained something by moving, and it's only polite to a certain extent. I do get a lot of people who say it's not the money, I'll move for the same amount that I'm on now, but they certainly won't move for less. And what they do, and they want to see more in terms of the job as a whole. And if they're just going from a job to a job on the same money, that's never going to happen. But of course, the counter argument from the company about the salary, the wages is, well, we don't want to demotivate the people already in there that are earning this bandwidth by paying people more than that. Well, I get that, but if you want to attract people into your organisation, you've got to attract them with something. And just saying we're a great company isn't going to be the attraction. There's got to be something that they can see in the whole job. They must see something for what that they can get out of it. It is that chat, in the order again, is great people to work with. If they know there's great people to work with, if there's people they've already worked with in the past, then that's a big reason for coming. If the challenge and the prospects in the job are there, if they can see that they can be able to achieve something, that's another great reason for coming. So there is other things than money that will attract people in, but if you don't have the money at least at the right level for what the individual wants, he'll never come. And if you don't have the money right for what somebody's in there, sorry, I think I said that wrong. If the person that's in the job already doesn't feel that the money they're getting is a fair wage for what they're doing, they'll simply find somewhere that will offer them that money. And in a market like this, maybe where jobs are a little bit scarce at the moment, and it's not altogether like that, but where they're a little bit scarce, companies feel that they can get away with things at the moment. But it never works out for them. In the long run, they will be chasing their tails to find the right people to replace the people that have just left the company because of the way they've been treated when times are hard. As soon as the times get better, they're off. So that's my take on motivation. What motivates people in the job? Why they do the job in the first place? Going back to my questions at the start of this, how do you feel about the job you're in today? What emotion does it bring in you? And it's all down to these 5 reasons. Why do people leave their jobs? That's what it's all about. And if you're looking for a job today, what is it that you're looking for from that job? Again, it comes back to these 5 reasons. It's money. You've got to earn money. And there is I've come across a few people where they've been on the market for a long time and they're starting to get desperate, so they'll do just about anything. And there's nothing wrong with taking a job just to earn money to tide you over for a period of time. There are jobs that you can do like that. The proverbial shelf stacking at Tesco comes to mind, but the idea here is that it's better to earn something than nothing. It's sort of true. Excuse me, I'm getting a tickle in my throat. You learn something for nothing is sort of true, but I think, and the other adage here is that you're in a stronger position to negotiate your next move when you're in a job currently is also true. But I think to some extent, you need to be a little bit careful about just taking jobs for a short period of time. If you can hold out for a little while to get the right job, it's probably better to do that. But if you have to do something that ties you over, all well and good. That's fine as well. You just don't want to see lots of changes on your CV. It puts people off when they look at a CV and they see a short term here and a short term there and a short term without there being a really good explanation. Contract work, yeah. Temporary work, yeah, nothing wrong with that. But if you go into a job permanently, they do like to see you give a certain amount of commitment to that position, because what they'll see is, if you come into my business, will you give me the commitment that I'm looking for? And if they don't see it in the past, they won't give it you in the present. Okay, I hope that's been of some use. I hope that you find the subject to have given you some stuff to think about. What is your mindset at the moment? How do you feel about the job you're in, or about looking for the job, what you're looking to get out of the job that you're going for next? This is James Foster and Careers Matter, and we'll see you again tomorrow.